Welcome to another episode of the Caregiver and Spoonie blog. As you know me by now, I'm Jordan Banderas. So, on today's episode, I wanted to let you guys know how I used to be a bully. Like, literally, I was a bully, probably from like kindergarten until I will say like sixth grade. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, sixth grade. I was a bully. And thanks to therapy, obviously, I realized why. And I also realized and I understand why there are bullies out there because, like I have mentioned before, my parents were divorced when I was like 3 or 4 years old. My mom was very abusive. I was always fighting with my brother. My brother was abusive physically with me. He was always like beating me up until I was able to fight back. So he was always beating me up. So what does that what does that cause? It causes you to be angry inside of you. And what's gonna happen as humans? If we don't know what to do with our feelings, we tend to project. That's pretty much what we are. That's pretty much what we do. So what did I do when I was like in kindergarten? I saw this kid. He was all like, I will say like more, not, yeah, it's smaller than me. So I started picking on him. I was beating him up. I was literally beating him up every day because I will go back to my house, like after school I will go to my house and my brother will beat me up. But because I couldn't beat my brother up because he was like he's taller than me and obviously he was bigger than me, the next day I will take it out on somebody. And obviously that's why I also say like about the forgiveness. I have asked for forgiveness because unfortunately I don't know where the dude is. He's in Mexico, I'm in the States, so and I can't even find him on Facebook, so I don't even know if he's alive or not. So that's why I asked for forgiveness because I have done a lot of things. Like I used to beat up this kid like one day. And I'm laughing because now I think it's funny, or it's not funny, but I just like I understand why I did. One day after kindergarten, his mom approaches my mom and goes, "So are you Jordan's mom?" My mom goes, "Yeah." And then she tells my mom that I've been bullying his son. I mean her son. So my mom is all like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like he wouldn't do that." And the mom is all like, "Well, my kid has nightmares because of your kid. Like he even says like, 'No, Jordan, no, don't hit me, don't hit me.'" But I mean, I understand why I was doing it now. Back then, I was just like, I just wanted to beat up somebody. I was angry. I was deeply, deeply angry inside. And that happened on kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade. And the reason why I actually decided to change is because in around like third grade, on third grade there was a kid bigger than us, bigger than the whole class. Like this dude was big. For some reason he was bigger than everybody, so he started bullying us. And he tried to pick on me. I wouldn't let him, but he tried to pick on the people that I was picking on. So I was like, "Oh heck no, you're not gonna pick up on my people," you know. So instead of like fighting him, I did fight him. We were fighting all the time, but it was like he was bigger than me. So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna need something. I'm gonna need help to beat this kid up." And that sounds messed up, but I mean, he was a bigger bully than me, so I was like, you know what? He's bigger than me, I'm gonna need help. So I was able to actually gather a bunch of my friends to beat him up. We beat him up, he stopped. I kept doing my bullying thing until like sixth grade, until I was like, you know what, like this isn't for me. Like, because what happened in this situation is that on the sixth grade, I had a very good friend. He was like my best friend at the time, and he was picked up. He was picked on by another kid that I had to get involved with. So I actually beat up the other kid, and then I was like, you know what, like Now I understand. This was by myself. Nobody asked me to do anything or anything like that. I was like, now I understand that what I've been doing was wrong. So I decided to change. I decided to stop being a bully. Now I became more friendly. But uh, the reason why I was a bully, like I have mentioned, is because of everything, the way that I was raised, the way that I was, the way that I was raised by my mom, the way that I was treated by my brother, and all that anger that I had from my uncle lying to me, and all the things that the way that he made me feel, like all that anger was like literally I was projecting it by picking up on other kids. And nowadays, when I see the bullying thing online, I feel kind of bad because I did that, but now it's worse because it's online. And here's the thing though, one of the things that I have realized is that a bunch of these kids that are bullies in school or anything like that, or even online, they're going almost through the same thing that I went through with my mom. Like if I had internet back then, if there was internet in my house, probably I would have been a troll, an online troll. But when I see that now, I kind of can relate to the bully because I'm more like, has anybody asked this person or this kid why he's doing it? Because with me, nobody asked me why are you doing it. Like when my mom, when the kid that I was picking up on kindergarten talked to my mom didn't ask me why I was doing it. Nobody asked me why. They just said like, don't do it. That's bad. But my brother kept picking up on me, so kept beating me up, kept bullying me. So I was like, how come you're telling me that that's bad, but you don't tell him that it's bad? So it's kind of like a bad example, you know? Like it's like, oh, you're telling me that I'm being a bad kid, but my brother is beating me up just because he's having his own problems and he's beating me up. You don't tell him anything, so it's like, why should I stop? Because my brother is making me mad. You're making me mad. In this case, my mom, my uncle, like everybody's making me mad. Like how am I supposed to be able to let those feelings out? Because nobody's talking to me at this point. I'm all mad. Like, especially after my uncle lied to me about going to Disneyland and then about the computer and then pretty much telling me all these things that, oh, you need to do better. You need to do better when I know I'm doing better or I'm trying my best. And he's just like pushing me. Like, of course I'm going to get mad. And we do that. I've seen it with kids nowadays. Like, and that's why I'm like, with all these kids that are bullies, it's like, are we looking deeper into the issue? Because in a lot of situations, like when I was a bully and everything, going to school, and because I found my report cards, like in today's standards in the States, I would have been diagnosed with ADHD because I didn't shut up in school. I was talking a lot, I wasn't paying attention, I wasn't doing my homework or anything like that. But nobody said, hey, what's going on at home? Like there's this note from one of my teachers on my report card. I think it was the 3rd or 4th grade, where it says like, somebody needs to pay more attention to you at home. My mom didn't do anything about that. So it's like, sometimes we blame the kid. And I understand. My mom is a single mom. My mom was a single mom. She raised me as a single mom. But the times that, and this is before I was escaping school, like I mentioned before, even after escaping school, like my mom wasn't at home. I would go home and she wasn't there. So I was like, nobody's here to help me with my homework. I will try to do it. So I didn't understand. So I would just wait until the next day. I would grab a kid and be like, give me your homework. Let me copy it or I'll beat you up. That was pretty much how I did. And nobody said like, hey, is there any, how exactly are you feeling? That's the thing, is like, nobody asked me like, how are you feeling? Like, how are you feeling? This is one of the things that we don't ask our kids. I don't know why. Now that I'm more in touch with myself, more self-aware. I know how I'm feeling, and then I look at the solution. Like, for example, if I'm getting angry, or I feel angry, or flustered, I'm like, why am I feeling like, or how come I'm feeling like this? And I find the answer within myself. So as a kid, you won't be able to do that. A kid is not going to be able to do that. So it's the parents' job to ask, like, how are you doing? Like, they have you with parents, like me and I mean, it's hard to be a single parent. I understand. It's hard to have kids. Me and my wife don't have kids, and hopefully at one point we might adopt or do foster care. But one of the things that I tell my wife is that if we do that, either foster caring or adopting, is like there will be open communication with those kids, because I know what it's like to feel alone at a young age. I know what it's like to have all these feelings inside of you at a young age, and not even being able to like talk about them, because you don't even know. Like, you try to talk to your mom, she's not there. You try to talk to your father figure, he doesn't understand. He's just like, oh, Jordan, you go watch TV, or go do this, or go do that. Like that, I've seen it happening with my friends. I've seen it happening with kids. I know what it's like. That's why people sometimes either they become the kid that is being bullied, or the bully itself. So I was the bully. I know a bunch of kids that are being bullied right now because the parents don't listen to them, or the school doesn't listen to them. They're like, oh, it's not my problem. It's not my kid, or anything like that. But what we need to do is, like, obviously take care of the kid that is being bullied, but also take care of the bully, because usually, and you guys are gonna hear more about my stories and about my life, but because of what I have been through and everything that I did, from shoplifting to a bunch of other things I'm gonna be talking about on the throughout the episodes. I want to give like a lot of information, because I want to provide exact more information about that specific topic. But because of the things that I did after going to therapy, and becoming more self-aware with why I did the things that I did, why I was so angry and things like that, is like, it's because of how I was raised. I was raised, literally, there were times that I remember this time. I remember one time that my mom decided to go on a vacation with her friends and her boyfriend. She left me a whole weekend by myself, and there wasn't any food. She left me without food, so I learned how to cook. So pretty much I had to take care of myself. So because of that, I'm angry, because at that point I'm like, why would I be angry for that? I'm cooking, or I'm learning how to cook. It's like, well, I'm not able to watch TV, which is something that I love to watch. I couldn't watch TV because I had to make sure that my food wasn't getting burned. So I was mad because of that. So what did I do the next day? I would go and pick up on another kid, beat him up. The school will call my mom. My mom will show up and be like, oh, don't do it again. And then she would just leave me there, go to her friends or her boyfriend, because that's what she would do. And I'm not blaming it on my mom. Like I said, I have forgiven them. I understand why they did. They have their own issues. They have their own demons that they need to work through. But as a kid going through something like that, it's hard. And I also have seen it, like with people that I have dated, with friends, how they treat their kids just because they're single mom or something like that. They treat their kids the same way that my mom treated me. And I'm like, ugh, and I want to say something, but I can't, because it's like, I don't know what to say. I don't want to overstep my boundaries. And sometimes if I did say something, they will get mad. And I know that it wasn't like personal. It's just that they will feel attacked, and then they will always come back with this. And this is one of the things that my mom said multiple times, is that it's hard to raise a kid being a single mom. Yes, it is hard. But at the same time, it is your kid. It is your kid. Pay attention to your kid. I'm saying this because my mom never paid attention to me. My uncle never really did pay attention to me. So, and they may say like, oh, I did pay attention to you. And you may say the same thing to your kid. It's like, oh, I pay attention to you. But the thing is, like I have mentioned before, is we need to ask them, like, how are you feeling? Like, do you feel like I pay enough attention to you? Do you feel like I'm doing enough things for you? Do you feel alone? Do you feel angry? Do you feel... We don't ask kids that. Why is that? I don't know. Because for some reason we can't talk to about our feelings as kids. Like, as a kid, you don't know what exactly you're feeling, and then as an adult or as a kid, like, this is what happened to me. Like, I was pretty much holding all that anger. I didn't know I was angry. I was just like, I just thought I was me. I was being me. Like, that was me. Because I was told that by teachers, parents, and friends, and and even my mom, my uncle is like, you're a bad kid, you're a bad kid. So I was like, okay, I'm a bad kid. But yeah, there was a reason why I was being a bad kid, and nobody asked me like what exactly is going on. And if they did, like the teacher wrote on my report card, my mom didn't really do anything because she would prefer to go out than staying with her kid and making sure that he will do his homework. I mean, like, yeah, I could have done my homework, but I'm like 9, 10, or 5, like 5, 6, 7 years old, and my mom will leave me alone. So instead of doing my homework, I would rather watch TV or play the Nintendo, play the PlayStation. So I wasn't really interested in school, but in the end, we blame the kid. My mom will say, and my uncle will say, like, "Oh, you're a bad kid." It's like, dude, there's a deeper issue here that we don't pay attention for some reason. And that's why I wanted to say this. Like, I was a bully. If you know a freaking bully, you should ask them. Instead of getting mad at the kid that is picking up on your kid, obviously you have to talk to your kid and be like, okay, this is not personal. This is not... The bully, I can guarantee you, and I am going to tell you this. The bully is not attacking your kid because of how your kid is. The bully is... attacking your kid because he's projecting whatever is going on inside his head, inside his mind. Like, he's doing what he sees at home. Like, if you grow like in my case, my mom was very abusive. So what am I gonna project? That abuse. My brother was beating me up, and we were fighting all the time. So what am I gonna project? All that anger. Like, I was lied to. I was made feel like I was like the worst kid, or that I wasn't a good kid, or anything like that. So what am I going to do? I'm gonna project that, and that's what's happening. So if you're having if your kid is being bullied, I will. This is how I would do it. Like I said, I don't have kids, but this is how I will do it. Now that I went to therapy and I read all these books about psychology and child psychology and all these things. One of the things that I recommend you to look for is Dr. Shefali, Shefli, Shefali. She's a child psychologist. She talks about pretty much a lot of what I'm talking about, and she's good. She is good. So if I had a kid and my kid is being bullied, I will say, like, listen, that kid is not picking on you because of who you are. It's picking on you because the kid is insecure. He wants to feel bigger because probably in his house he doesn't feel he can be himself. He can't do anything. He's not receiving any love. So if you don't receive any love, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna love other kids. You're not gonna love somebody else. And if you're being abused, verbally, physically, mentally, emotionally, however you were being abused, or however you are being abused, if you're a kid watching this, you're just gonna project that to somebody that you think is not going to fight back, which is usually that little skinny kid or somebody that looks weak. But the thing is that the bully is just projecting. So what I would do, like I mentioned, I would talk to my kid, letting them know it's not about you. It's about what that kid is suffering. And that kid most likely suffering from neglect. Like nobody's paying attention to the kid. The kid doesn't know what he's feeling. Probably if the kid is being physically and verbally abused, what he's projecting all that abuse as well. I did. I know that a lot of people do it. And here's the thing though. If you were a bully like that or you were abused like that as an adult, you're still gonna do it. You're gonna do it to your kids. You're gonna do it to your partner. Like I said, I've done it. I used to be bad. I wasn't the best husband. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't the best husband, and I don't blame my childhood. But I said like a lot of the issues that I had to face come from my childhood. Being a bully for me, it was pretty much because of not being able to defend myself from my brother. So I was projecting all that anger. I was projecting all that abuse. One of the things that here I want to mention as well. My mom has a very sharp tongue. Like she will, if you piss her off or if you make her mad, she will tear you down with words. Like I don't even know how she knows all those swear words. So if I was raised like that, I'm the same way. So I'm the same way, or I was the same way because I have changed. So next time you see somebody that is a bully, you have to put yourself on their shoes. Don't blame it on the kid. We need to ask ourselves, I wonder what exactly is going on with that kid, that particular kid can be happy and play with other kids. Like what exactly is going on? I know because I was that kid. Like I will see my friends or I will see somebody else that had something better than me, like clothes, toys, or anything like that, and I will get mad. Because my mom will say like, oh, I can't buy it for you because you're a bad kid. So that will make me feel bad. So I'm like, okay, I'm a bad kid. I'm not going to get it. So might as well just keep being bad. And I will beat up the kid that had something better than me. Why? Because I was just projecting all that anger. I was projecting my insecurities. And that's another thing. As an adult now, I was projecting my insecurities so bad. Like, there's a lot of adults that were the bullies, that were bullied, and now they're projecting their insecurities onto their kids, onto their partner. I did. And that's why when your partner, either he or she, is always pretty much, if they do something wrong, they blame it on you, because that's an insecurity. They don't take responsibility. I've done it. Like I said, I have done it. Like I will blame my wife if I get mad. It's like, oh, you're making me mad. But in reality, it was just my insecurities. My insecurities that I had as a kid, the insecurities that made me project all that anger into other kids, but the insecurities that I had growing up, the insecurities that I had to pretty much fight through so I could become a better person. So that's why I like to share all of this, because it's helping me a lot, actually. It's helping me a lot on understanding more of myself, and I hope that it helps you understand like why people sometimes act the way that they are, especially like in this case being a bully. Like what I would do, like I say, if my kid is being bullied, is that I will try to talk to the other kid and be like, what exactly is going on? You know, kind of like talk to them so they can understand that there's somebody there for them. Because growing up, for me, I was alone. I felt alone all the time. Like I couldn't trust my mom. I couldn't trust my brother. I couldn't trust my uncle. It's like I had trust issues, which I'm working on right now. That come from childhood and everything like that. And like I said, I don't blame it all on my family, but a lot of things that I'm facing right now, or that I'm working through right now, they come from my childhood. And one of those things is that I was a bully. I understand that I was a bully and that was wrong at that point, and that's why I have asked for forgiveness, because I really do understand what a lot of kids are going through right now, especially with the pandemic, especially with everything that's going on, like online bullying. And I understand why they do it because, and if you're an adult and you're a bully, like you're a troll. Hey, hey, don't interrupt me. Those dogs. So I understand, and one of the things that for all those adults that like to pick on other adults, like online trolls or anything like that, let me tell you this: you're just projecting an insecurity. I used to be that. I never picked on somebody online. I never became a troll, online troll, but I understand why people do it. They feel insecure. They want to feel bigger. They want to feel like better than the other person that they're attacking. So that's why they attack. And so if somebody is trolling you, if somebody says something online, that's another form of bullying. It's not about you. It's about them. It's about how they feel. They're just projecting all their insecurities. If somebody online calls you, oh, you're too skinny, or you're too fat, or you're too this, or you're too that, it's most likely because that's how they feel. I know that because back in the day, I mean, in my time, there wasn't I couldn't go online. So instead of like doing like the online trolling, I will say it to their face. I will say it to their faces like, "Oh, you're this and that and that and that." But I was pretty much like projecting my insecurities. So that's one thing that we need to work on as a society, though. Like if we see somebody being a bully or getting bullied, we need to ask them, "How are you feeling? What exactly is going on?" Especially for a kid that is being a bully. And like I said, like for the kid that is being picked on, we need to let them know, like, hey, this is not about you. This is not he's not attacking you personally. It's not like about how you are. It's about how they feel about themselves. And that's why I'm very passionate about mental health because of everything that I have gone through and everything that I'm still working on. And how I've been able to improve my life by actually working through all this pain, all this anger, all these feelings that I had bottled up inside of me. And I know that a lot of you guys are going through something similar. I know that that because of society, you have to feel that if you're a man, you have to be strong. Like if you talk about your feelings, you're weak. That's a lie. If you talk about your feelings and you can talk about your feelings and how you feel and what's going on in your head, that's actually not a weakness. That's a strength. Because then you're going to be able to work through wherever you're going through right now, whatever is going on, whatever your thoughts are, whatever you're feeling, and then you're going to be able to process it and become a better person. That's how I got better. That's how I got better. And every day I'm working on myself and let me tell you this: if you're able to do something like that, like if you feel like you need to work on yourself, or somebody tells you, hey, you might need to work on yourself. If your wife tells you, or your partner tells you, you need to work on yourself because of you get angry you have a short fuse. That was me. I had a short fuse. My wife will tell you, anybody that knows me, my family will tell you, of course, but my wife will tell you, I had a short fuse. Now, when I start feeling angry, I'm like, how come this is affecting me? Like, how come I'm letting this affect me? Like when me and my wife had conversations and she said something about me, it's like, okay, I'm not being attacked. She's just telling me how she feels about me, so I need to see how I can improve because she's giving me feedback. I see it as feedback. So the same thing happens as kids. Like we need to let them know, hey, this is not good. If you feel like this, not good. Talk to me. Like we need to be open. And same with adults. We need to be open about our feelings. If you need to go to therapy, go to therapy because guess what? Therapy is confidential. Nobody needs to know that you're going to therapy because I know I have talked to people. I didn't want to go to therapy. And now, and another episode. Well, actually, I'm just gonna let you know. I did. I was told a long time ago by my uncle that I needed to go to therapy. Well, him and my mom made me feel like I needed to go to therapy because I was crazy. But that was not the case. I was just angry. But because of the way that they made me feel about it, I was like, I'm not gonna go. Like, I don't care. I'm not gonna go. Until it got out of hand and I realized that I needed to go because I could hurt my wife. Not physically, but emotionally. Or actually I was hurting her emotionally. And other things happened, which I'm gonna talk about in another episode as to the reason why I actually decided to go to therapy. But nobody needs to know that you're going to therapy. If you want to tell your wife or your partner or somebody, you can, but you don't have to. So if you feel like you have something deep inside of you that you don't even know what it is, go to therapy. Like I did, and I'm a stubborn SOB. I'm not gonna lie, I am stubborn. My wife can actually tell you I am stubborn, and I don't care. I'm stubborn. But I decided to go to therapy, and that was the best thing that I ever done. So, that's the story that I wanted to share today. I hope you guys are enjoying this blog. I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. And like I said, if you guys have any questions or you guys want to share your stories anonymously, you guys can email me at thecaregiverandspoonie@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook on the Caregiver and Spoonie podcast, also in the community, the Caregiver and Spoonie community. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And like always, take care of yourself.